Hello, and welcome again to another unscripted episode of Natural Juan. And right, you heard that. And you heard that right. This is another unscripted episode, meaning you're probably gonna hear me make a lot of mistakes again. So, anyway, this time we're going to take a look at Pathfinder First Edition's Bestiary. There were actually multiple Bestiary books for Pathfinder First Edition, but this is the first one. And just to give you guys on a quick background of things, Pathfinder was designed with reverse compatibility in mind. So when it was first released, Pathfinder First Edition was compatible with a lot of materials for Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. As such, you could use Dungeons and Dragons 3.5's monster manuals, and they worked well with Pathfinder First Edition. But then the people in Paizo, the creators of Pathfinder, they decided, hey, we want our own monster manual. We want our own book containing monsters and whatnot. So, yeah, I went ahead. This is what they got. The Bestiary. And you can see, pictured right on the cover is a troll. Yeah, that's your Pathfinder troll, which is very similar to your Dungeons and Dragons troll. You know, they regenerate quickly. They're mostly animalistic, unlike Shadowrun trolls. And you got your pesky goblins. I think this is a Marilith, a kind of female demon. Yeah. Anyway, just so you know, Pathfinder, I think I've mentioned this in another video, Pathfinder is almost identical to Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 because it uses the same license that Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 had. So it's not surprising that a lot of the monsters you will find here, from your Aboleth, yeah, the fish monster. Actually, there's a article on these guys on the Exploring series that's pretty cool. You have your Barghests. You have your Behir, yeah, the dragon-like monster. And the Bugbear, you know, the stealthy evil goblins. So you have them just as you do in Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry, there you go. This is Natural Juan making a lot of mistakes. Oh, before I forget, if you enjoy my content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications so that, you know, if I come up with, when I make a new video, you'll know about it immediately. So yeah, it's got about everything I need to know about the monster. And so here's their stat. For those not in the know or aren't used to, or might be their first time looking at a tabletop role-playing game or tabletop role-playing game monster, see here, this is called their stat block. This represents the statistics of the monster. So here you have the experience. Let's start with the beginning. Here you have the CR or challenge rating. For the Filipinos out there, no, it's not comfort room. Hindi yan banyo. When you say challenge rating, this talks about how difficult the monster is in a battle. So he's challenge rating 2. So if you are a level 1 player character, he's gonna be a tough fight if you're alone. But if you got like your buddies with you, he becomes slightly easier. But yeah, so he's at challenge rating 2. That's the difficulty of facing him, okay? Remember that. Then the XP, that is your experience reward, so you can level up. You have here the alignment system. CE means Chaotic Evil. There are actually 9 alignments in Pathfinder, just as you do in Dungeons and Dragons. There's Lawful Good, Lawful Neutral, Lawful Evil. You have Neutral Good, True Neutral, and Chaotic Neutral. Next you have what's this? Chaotic good, chaotic neutral, and chaotic evil. I'll explain them in a bit, but just so you know, when you say chaotic evil, this means he's the bad guy that will... For him, strength is all that matters. He doesn't follow any laws. He doesn't care about them. If he can do... He does bad things because he can. He kills people because he can. That's what it means to be chaotic evil. When you're lawful evil, that's more like your corrupt king or corrupt guard. Like, they will do bad things, but it will be... They will use the law against you. Like, they can say... Oh, you are resisting arrest, even though what you're actually doing is you just don't want them to hurt you. They say you're resisting arrest, so we're gonna use more force on you. That's what lawful evil is. But chaotic evil, it doesn't care for the laws. See there, I got lost again. I tend to ramble. There's the initiative. So he's gonna roll a d20 and add his initiative bonus, which is +1, to decide whether or not he goes first. See, he's got a +1. So if he rolls particularly high, that means he goes first. He's got the dark vision for senses. That means he can see in the dark very well. He's got the perception of +8, meaning he can probably know you're there, unless your character is very stealthy. Like, see there, he's got a +8 stealth. If you got a +8 stealth, you're pretty much even with this guy. Now, for the other stats, there's armor class. This is the overall defense, like how fast he can move out of the way of a weapon and how tough he is in battle. So whenever you attack him, you have to roll an attack that will result in a number higher than 17 in order to hit him. But he also has the touch armor class. This usually takes effect when, for example, if you negate his armor. Like if you have a weapon that ignores armor, you use the touch AC to decide if it hits him or not, and it's pretty low. It's 11. Touch AC is just how fast he can move out of the way of a weapon. You know, his ability to dodge an attack. Then you have your flat-footed. When you say flat-footed, it just means that's just the solid armor that he has. So this doesn't include how fast he can move. This is just how tough his armor is. So it's a 16, so he's pretty tough. So you need to find a way to bypass that armor if you really want to hurt him. So the next is HP, his hit points, how long he can last in a battle. There's his saves, like how can he defend himself from negative effects. Like fortitude is how healthy or how powerful his immune system is. His reflex save is how well he can dodge an attack, and will is how good his mind is at fighting off fear or intimidation or attempts to control him. Speed is how fast he can move. These are his weapons. So he's got a +5 bonus for his Morningstar attack and a +3 bonus for his Javelin. These are the attacks he makes. So he can, if he lands an attack, it'll be 1 to 8 +3 because you roll 8-sided dice for that. Then these are his stats: his strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And then everything else. You have his feats here, which are kind of like bonus powers or abilities. And you have his skills: intimidate, perception, and stealth. So you got all that. He's pretty good. See there, he's already got a +8 stealth and a +4 bonus because he's a bugbear. So that's literally a +12. I don't know if there's any real way you can see him immediately without him making any kind of move. So yeah, now that you see a monster's stat block, after I explained that to you, you notice here that they have just about every kind of monster you have in Dungeons and Dragons. But that's not all. Here in the appendix, you have here some nifty stuff. Like you have here how you can make your own monster, how you can introduce a monster to your Pathfinder adventure. Now, being Filipino, they already have monsters from Filipino mythology and folklore here, like the Tikbalang, the Tiyanak, the Kapre, the Manananggal. They're already here. But I've been thinking of adding some more. So, like the Karkarison of Ilocano folklore. Like it's like a wagon with a lot of dead people in it, and if it comes at your doorstep, people will get sick. There's that kind of legend about it. I don't know what to qualify it yet, but I can use this. I can use this instructions for building a monster so I can bring the Karkarison in my own adventures. Then you also have some rules on how to use monsters as PCs. Yes, that means you can use any of the monsters here on the Bestiary and any of the other monsters in the other Bestiaries and turn them into player characters. I'm not kidding. You can actually do that here. Now, it's a little difficult. It requires a lot of work to make the monster good enough for an adventure, or so he's on the same level as your player characters. But once done, it can be very rewarding. But remember, as this guide says, it's very rewarding, but weighing such a character against others is challenging. So take note of that if you plan to play as a troll or the bugbear I showed you earlier, or if you actually want to use the Karkarison as a player character. I wouldn't though. I think those monsters are just too evil to be player characters. Anyway, that's another episode for Natural Juan. If you like this video or you enjoyed this video, please like and share. And if you want more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. See you guys in the next video.